What is going on, everybody? I am back today to talk about the newest Shudder original movie. And I was looking forward to watching this when I saw it drop on Shudder because it stars none other than Nick Frost. And as I've talked about multiple times on my YouTube channel before, Hot Fuzz is one of the movies that changed my life. I love Nick Frost. I think he's an incredibly talented actor. And I've really loved seeing the projects that he's picked over the years to star in. And no matter what he's going to be involved in, I'm always going to watch it. And I didn't know anything about this movie. I didn't even see a trailer. I just saw the poster on Shudder and saw Nick was in it and was like, yeah, I'm on board. And the movie I'm going to be telling you about today is Black Cab. Black Cab is directed by Bruce Goodison. A night out goes from bad to worse when a strange couple, Anne and Patrick, are abducted by their cab driver, resulting in a terrifying ordeal. So, as I said, I did not know anything about this movie before I went in to watch it, other than Nick Frost was starring in it, which is the reason I wanted to check the movie out. And this movie is terrible. I really did not like it at all. I found it to be incredibly bland and uninteresting. The whole paranormal ghost story element of the movie was very poorly executed. Didn't really like the reveal of the end of the movie. And I'm going to tell you all about it today. So, very simply, we have a couple, Anne and Patrick, who go out with a couple of their friends, and there's some information revealed that causes tension between the couple. And they've already been having some issues in the past. Anne flees the restaurant and she tries to call a cab, and she sees something in the back of the cab that startles her, and she's kind of afraid to get in, but reluctantly her boyfriend pushes her into the cab and says, let's go anyway. So they get in there and they're introduced to their cab driver, who is played by Nick Frost. And he starts to strike up a conversation with them. And he's seemingly kind of goofy. He's telling a lot of jokes, but there's something a little bit off about him. They start to go a ways and he says, I have to take a call about my kid. And he gets out of the cab. Anne finds that all the doors of the cab are locked. And she's like, well, this is really weird. And he ends up getting back in the car. They drive a little bit further and they get to a situation where he ends up hazing the boyfriend and kidnapping the both of them and tying them up in the back of the cab. And he starts to take them to this road that is supposed to be haunted. And something is going on why he is taking these two to this location. And the entirety of the film is this couple trying to survive this crazy cab driver. So, like I said, I thought this movie was really terrible. And honestly, like, I hate saying this about the movie. I was so bored with this that I felt like I was forgetting elements as I was watching it because the information is just so lame. Like, it's the way the story is structured. The character development isn't interesting, and it has potential because what they try to explain is going on at the end of the movie. If you had a better writer and it was executed a little bit better, it might have kept your attention. But it just feels like stuff happening for an hour, and then it's like, okay, we'll reveal some information to you as to what's going on. And that's why I didn't really enjoy this movie. I will say the one positive of the film is Nick Frost is incredible. He gets to get very unhinged in this movie, and he has a lot of moments of dialogue that I was really impressed with. I also like the way his character reacts to certain situations, because when Anne is trying to get information out of him, you can tell that, like, he's trying to put on this facade and he doesn't want to give too much away, but sometimes he breaks when he gets a little bit closer to her. And I think that it takes a very talented actor to kind of, be able to showcase like his emotions slipping a certain direction solely through like the way he delivers dialogue or the way his face will react to something that's being said. And I think it's just a testament to what a really excellent actor that Nick Frost is. But aside from that, the only other compliment I have for this movie is there's some nice shots cinematographically. I like some of the camera choices, especially early on in the movie. There are a couple of really haunting images when like the opening credits are starting, and they pay close attention to detail in certain moments because most of the movie takes place inside of a cab. So they have to pay close attention to try to keep you invested and engaged. But everything else about this movie just really stinks. Like, the paranormal side of the movie is just so bland. Like, they introduce this idea of a ghost, and the way that they tell you everything about the ghost is through this heavy-handed exposition that is just giving you every little bit in detail about it, to where like it's not interesting enough for me to want to learn more. So like as soon as we get to the point where it's being explained, I was like, okay, I'm already checked out. I don't really care where this goes. Try to make it emotionally moving by the fact that the young girl is pregnant and there's something to do with Nick Frost's child, but I didn't feel like any of the emotional beats really resonated. There wasn't enough attention to detail on it, or the way that the characters were reacting to discussing those bits of information that kept me interested as a viewer. Also, like anytime the ghost was shown, the visual effect that they used and how they presented it was so lame. It was just really poorly executed. And I feel like if you're going to tell a ghost story, at least the ghost should look good. And it didn't. It felt like an early 2000s horror movie in a lot of moments. And I don't say that in a positive way. I felt like it was kind of laughable, honestly, just how bad it looked in moments. And the characters, especially the boyfriend and girlfriend, are so uninteresting that you don't really care when they're put in peril. It's like the only thing that's really keeping you hooked on the movie emotionally is like she's pregnant. That's really it. There's not anything else going on that you're like, man, I'm really rooting for these characters and I hope they make it out alive. It's kind of like they're bland. Nick Frost is keeping me along for the ride because he's entertaining and he gets kind of sadistic in moments. But outside of that, this movie is just a stinker. It's one I would not recommend checking out because it's just so bland. And even with Nick Frost's incredible performance, it's not really enough to waste your time watching an hour and a half of this. So, have you seen Black Cab? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was really bad. I did not enjoy it outside of Nick Frost's performance, and I would never watch it again. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.